There's just a series of events that started with the speaker being quickly taken out, and the majority leader and the public whip quickly being ushered out. We tried to sort of keep the business going, but the security folks came in and said, look, they're in the rotunda and they're headed this way. We're locking down, pull the mask out from underneath your seat, but then things really got bad. The mob got to the house and began smashing the doors to the house, and our security team, drew their weapons. There were two different doors. At one of the doors, there was an exchange of gunfire, which led to the death of one of the protesters. And so we were in this moment that was, there was a very much, there's a lot of adrenaline going. It was just really frightening. It lasted maybe 20 minutes or so before we were able to find a way out. I was getting texts from everybody that I've ever met in my life that has my phone. I was laying on the floor, trying to, protect myself behind this little wall. And, we all took our pins off because we're certain that if this mob were to come in, that would not be a good thing for them to quickly and easily be able to identify us as members of Congress. I called my wife, and, it wasn't until I heard her voice that I thought, wow, this is like one of those calls you hear about, and I didn't know. I don't need to over dramatize it, but you got to know, I didn't know what was going to happen. None of us did. I just told her, I'm fine, I'm safe. I'm in a safe spot right now, but we're in a bit of a situation here. I'll let you know when I'm out of it, but right now I'm safe. And call the kids because they were all texting me, and call my mom, let her know that right now I'm good. People, they started banging on the doors in the house gallery. We didn't know who it was. We didn't know if it was the cops, the other cops trying to come and help get us out, or if it were these protesters. And so that was a moment of real confusion. And then ultimately we were able to get into the tunnel and find a safe spot. And we stayed in that safe location for about 4 hours. I didn't realize until later, like a little after midnight, when I walked over to the Senate side and saw the Capitol. And it was very obvious that this was not like a few dozen people. Hundreds and hundreds, maybe 1,000 or more people had occupied the Capitol for hours and destroyed a lot of stuff. I saw furniture smashed, every window broken. And I remember hearing this really loud, you could hear a crowd, this really loud sort of roar. Now I know it was this was a massive group of people. This wasn't just a handful of rogues that got in there. This was a massive group of people. And we had like 6 cops with guns on one side of the door. I had no idea how outmanned we were, so I didn't realize the extent of the danger until later on. Thankfully, I didn't know, because that wouldn't have been good.